Thank you, Nube, as always, for the awesome tracks. So, hello everyone. Thank you all for attending today's AMA. Just want to give a big thanks to those that participated in our chess tournament about a week ago. We will be having more of these tournaments, so stay tuned in our Discord for more announcements later this week. So, without further ado, let's get this AMA started. Peter?
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in for this AMA today. We wanted to start off, as usual, with a quick development update, specifically for Saucerswap version 2. So we recently onboarded a front-end software engineer who is working with our full-stack engineer on the front end for Saucerswap version 2. You can expect some previews of the interface coming soon. We're really excited about the design and the UX crafted for the CLMM. The front end is currently the rate limiting factor for Saucerswap version 2, but we are progressing pretty nicely here. And we are currently anticipating roughly 4 weeks of work for this to be completed. This isn't a firm date and it could be sooner or later, but we did want to give some more concrete information about, excuse me, the status of the project. As for the smart contracts, we have gone back and forth with Omniscia a number of times to make sure we are properly addressing any and all issues. So we did submit the contracts for audit once more over a week ago, and the final report should be done soon, potentially this coming week. Once we have that report, we will publish it and share it on our social media so you can take a look at it. To give a little bit more insight about the launch timeline, and keep in mind this is not a hard date for a launch, but we are currently targeting the middle of next month for the launch of Saucerswap version 2. This will be preceded by a public bug bounty on the Hedera testnet, very similar to the one we did for Saucerswap version 1. And this will basically allow the community to test the upgraded protocol on testnet and look for any bugs. And similar to Saucerswap version 1, we anticipate that these bugs will be contained to the web app, and will have different severity levels and different payouts based on those severity levels. But in addition to the web app, it also gives us a chance to test our contracts on the Hedera testnet with some good volume and several different accounts interacting with them before launching on mainnet, which is a good thing. Also, as a reminder, the Sauce tokenomics update will go into effect on the launch date of Saucerswap version 2. It will be implemented incrementally over a 6-week period, and the kind of meat of the proposal and the update is a pretty massive reduction to the inflation rate of newly minted sauce and a roughly 80% cut to token emissions for yield incentives. So it's basically a shift from inflation-driven yield with Saucerswap version 1 to real yield with version 2. And if you do want to refresh on what that means exactly, you can check out our Medium page, which is linked in the welcome channel of this Discord. Finally, we just also wanted to give another reminder that we will be attending Permissionless in Austin this week. We're super excited to go down there and represent Hedera DeFi and Saucerswap. So if you are in the area, we'll be there from Monday to Wednesday, and come over to the Hedera booth and say hi. We'll be handing out merchandise to people who come by, so you can get some Saucerswap merchandise and Hedera merchandise for stopping by and chatting. It's going to be a packed week. We'll be at the booth around 5 hours each day, and we've RSVP'd to a bunch of networking events, so it should be an exciting week down in Texas. So with that update being provided, we should be all set to continue on to the Q&A portion of this AMA.
Thank you, Peter. So the first question is, when will the first series of cross-chain deployments begin, and how will that be structured?
Yeah, great question. Currently cross-chain deployment is not a high priority for Saucerswap. There's still a lot of value to be built natively on Hedera. And we want to stress that Saucerswap will always be a Hedera first project. Some of our thoughts on the matter for a multi-chain deployment are kind of guided by what we've witnessed with other dexes launching on multiple chains, and this comes with some varying success. Um, Regarding a successful strategy, we would not issue a new token on another chain if we implemented another chain like some projects do. We just don't think it's a great strategy and doesn't add value to the original users on the native network. So that would be one of kind of the defining tenets for a multi-chain approach. I will also mention that with concentrated liquidity, which comes with Saucerswap version 2, a multi-chain strategy becomes more feasible because there is less of a reliance on token emissions to incentivize liquidity providers. So we don't really get put in that position to have to make a decision about launching a new incentive token anyway. So again, it's not a super high priority right now, but it is certainly something that we have thought about and will likely explore in the future.
Thank you for that, Peter. This next question I think is for Joseph. Is there a burn wallet address for Sauce and XSauce tokens?
Hey guys. Um, yeah, so currently there is no burn mechanism for the sauce token. Instead, and this is a bit of a recap, the protocol performs daily buybacks of sauce using HBAR native staking rewards. There are currently 190 million HBAR that are proxy staked from the wrapped HBAR contract, and also a 5 basis point swap fee across all liquidity pools. So these sauce tokens are sent to the Infinity pool and contribute to XSauce yield on nearly $5 million of sauce liquidity as of today. So this approach was deemed more beneficial and sustainable for token holders than a buyback and burn mechanism. And it's also worth noting that Saucerswap version 2's launch will see a 60% reduction in sauce minting, as Peter had mentioned. So this alleviates inflation concerns more intelligently than by burning tokens.
Great, thanks for that, Joseph. We have another question, and it is to Peter. So, how is the development of Sauce Pro growing? Is there an estimated time frame of release?
Yeah, so the development of Sauce Pro for Saucerswap version 1, excuse me, is about 90% done. We got it, pretty much working in production, but we haven't worked on it for several weeks. We shelved that repo because of the upcoming launch of Saucerswap version 2. So Saucerswap version 2 launching first and then developing Sauce Pro to provide support for both versions of the protocol is the correct order of operations. So after Saucerswap version 2 is rolled out, that's when we will resume development for Sauce Pro, and as well as some other items on our roadmap. And a quick note there, we have recently updated the roadmap in our docs to reflect the current state of development. So if you're curious about that, you can go to docs.saucerswap.finance, go to the roadmap section. We have just recently updated it.
Great, thanks, Peter. And this is a very important question from Anonymous. Who is Laura? Please tell, is it Larry's sister, Larry's girlfriend, or Larry's wife?
You're right. That is a great question, and it's a bit above my pay grade. So the right person to ask would be Nariyoshi, who is our lore expert.
Nariyoshi for the rescue. So this next question is for Joseph, and it's a simple one. When V2? Question mark.
Yeah, so I think Peter touched on this in the intro, but I guess just to backtrack a bit, so Saucerswap version 2 is close to completion. Omniscia, who's the independent auditor that we selected for this round, has extensively reviewed the smart contract code. And after addressing the issues they highlighted, the code has been resubmitted and is being reviewed by them a final time. So a conclusive audit report is expected shortly. And besides the smart contracts, our full stack developers are making significant progress with the Saucerswap version 2 backend and web application. So we have a functioning prototype of the web app that includes the liquidity depth charts, routing selector, and pricing algorithm, all of which are hooked up to testnet contracts. And this prototype has been tested and works in terms of trading and interacting with V2 pools. So in addition, the majority of Saucerswap version 2 API endpoints are complete, and we will have comprehensive documentation for developers who wish to integrate with Saucerswap. So some of the main items still pending are as follows. So HIP 584, which is a quota requirement and is needed for simulating transactions. The final touches for liquidity position NFTs, and the front end. So we have a finalized UI design for the web app. We think it looks great, and our front end developers are working hard to implement it. So yeah, in summary, Saucerswap version 2 is nearing completion, and we can expect to launch the public beta, also referred to as the bug bounty, within a few weeks. So more frequent updates will be provided as this date approaches.
Thanks for that, Joseph. Another question relating to Saucerswap V2. Some users are wondering if they need to do anything with their sauce and XSauce tokens or LPs and farms for version 2.
So when Saucerswap V2 launches, there will be notable changes to the V1 farms. This includes deprecation of certain farms and a reduction in overall emissions. Users will be encouraged to migrate liquidity from specific V1 pools to their V2 counterparts. And remember, the adjustments to our incentives program will be phased in over a 6-week period, according to the revised tokenomics model. And included in this realignment of incentives is a novel feature of V2, which we have not yet announced, but are excited to share as the launch date approaches. And in terms of XSauce, users don't have to take any action. So the single-sided staking contracts remain unchanged, with the only exception being that swap fees are now collected from both V1 and V2 liquidity pools.
Great, thanks so much for that, Joseph. And if you guys are wondering what the V2 tokenomics are, we have it on our Medium channel as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to post it in our general Discord. So moving on, our next question is for Peter. Do you have anything up your sleeves for permissionless?
So we have a pretty straightforward strategy for permissionless. It's to meet with and talk with as many people as possible about Hedera and Saucerswap. So the estimated attendance, I believe, is like 4,000 people. So there should be a ton of opportunity to network. We will have representation at the Hedera booth for about 5 hours each day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we've RSVP'd for a bunch of side events with Hedera as well. So we'll be going around and talking with a ton of people. So there will be a lot of time to spread the word and also learn about what other people are building and potentially find opportunities for collaboration with other projects. I think just having a perspective from the DeFi ecosystem to kind of vouch for certain integrations will be much appreciated. And yeah, we're just looking forward to meeting as many people as we can.
Awesome. So this next question is actually for Kimchi, and the user is wondering if he's tried spam onigiri. Well, Kimchi isn't online at the moment, but we did ask him this question, and he does like to eat spam onigiri. So our next question is for Joseph. When will storing tokens on Ledger be available?
Yeah, good question. So I'm unclear about the current situation with Ledger. For ledger related questions, I believe Pluto from Hashpack is the best contact, and I know he loves answering ledger related inquiries. So reach out to him in his Discord. And I guess it's worth noting there are alternatives, like Decent, for example. I know they offer full support for HTS and HSCS. And then also keep an eye out for Citadel's upcoming next gen hardware wallet. So
Great. Thank you so much for that, Joseph. So that pretty much concludes our AMA today. It was a short and sweet one, so thank you all for tuning in. If you missed anything, we will be posting a recap on Twitter in the next few days. And additionally, we also have a channel in our Discord where we upload all of our AMA recordings. It is the Saucerswap AMA archive thread under our general channel. So that pretty much is our aim. So that pretty much sums up our AMA today. So thanks everyone and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
thanks, guys.